The hum of life on Earth is so ubiquitous we scarcely recognize how improbable it is. Step outside and you'll see an abundance of living forms, humans, trees, insects, all bustling with activity and growth. It is easy to forget that, in a universe bent toward disorder and decay, life's flourishing is truly an anomaly. From the vantage point of physics, everything should be tumbling downhill into greater entropy. Yet here we stand, hearts beating, cells replicating, minds imagining, entire ecosystems humming in orchestrated harmony. This is the story of how life stands as an entropic anomaly, defying the universal gravitational pull toward disarray and collapse, and why that fragile achievement is under threat from a new form of noise suffusing the modern world. Life as an entropic anomaly. In physics, entropy is often described as the measure of disorder within a system. The second law of thermodynamics dictates that the overall entropy of a closed system must increase over time. Stars burn out, molecules disperse, and structures crumble. And yet, life contradicts this trend, albeit locally and temporarily. A single cell maintains gradients of ions across its membrane, invests energy in constructing proteins, and self-replicates with astonishing precision. Local reversal of entropy. Living cells are microcosms of order. They constantly reorder themselves, repairing damage and replicating DNA. They maintain precise electrochemical gradients for processes like ATP synthesis. In a broader sense, entire organisms represent higher levels of organization, tissues, organs, and complex neural networks that push back against entropic forces. Bioelectric coherence. Crucial to this ordering process are bioelectric fields. The membranes of cells carry charges, and those charges interact to sustain life's stable microenvironments. These microenvironments are precarious. They rely on highly choreographed flows of ions and signals that, if disrupted, can lead to cellular dysfunction. Probabilistic logic and stability. On a molecular scale, life leverages probabilistic logic. Enzymes, receptors, and signals operate in finely tuned energetic landscapes where each reaction has a probability of occurring or not. Despite this inherent randomness, cells collectively create emergent order, orchestrated by feedback loops and regulatory systems that keep the entire organism from spinning into chaos. What emerges is a localized rebellion against the cosmic drift toward entropy, a fragile bubble of order in a universe largely governed by decay. As improbable as it seems, life endures. Yet this local triumph does not come free. It requires constant energy expenditure to hold entropy at bay. Entropic waste, the threat to the anomaly. The problem arises when the environment becomes saturated with disruptions, forms of energy or matter that inject noise into biological systems, making it more difficult for cells to maintain their carefully constructed order. This is what we call entropic waste, an external assault on life's precarious balance. Microwave and RF pollution. Wi-Fi signals and cellular networks rely on microwave and radio frequencies. These frequencies can penetrate living tissues, introducing energetic noise. While regulatory agencies insist these exposures remain below thermal thresholds, emerging research points to subtle non-thermal effects, disruption of cellular signaling, oxidative stress, and possible impacts on fertility. Increased cellular noise. Cells coordinate via bioelectric fields and chemical gradients. Adding extraneous electromagnetic frequencies effectively jams these signals. In worst-case scenarios, cells might become rogue agents, disconnected from the organism's cohesive orchestration. This could lead to pathologies from stress-related disorders to unregulated growth patterns. Just as an engine in a polluted environment must work harder, cells facing entropic waste expend extra energy to restore order. This diversion of resources might hinder growth, repair, and immune functions, leaving organisms more susceptible to disease. Multicellular life depends on synchronized action. Organs must function in unison, tissues rely on precisely timed signals. When entropic waste grows too large, it can erode this coherence, chipping away at life's improbable hold against entropy. This highlights an uncomfortable reality. Though life is resilient, there is a threshold beyond which entropic waste can overwhelm it. Given how reliant we are on wireless communications, we face a dilemma. How can we retain the benefits of connectivity without poisoning the delicate foundation of life's order? The duality of life and entropy. Life and entropy are caught in a perpetual dance. While the second law of thermodynamics demands that the total entropy of a closed system must increase, life manages to locally reverse entropy through constant energy input, like food and sunlight. This local order, however, does not exempt organisms from vulnerability. In fact, it might magnify it. Local versus global reordering. Each cell invests energy in building proteins, maintaining ion gradients, and repairing DNA. This is a micro-level triumph against decay. On a macro scale, these cells collaborate to form organisms and even ecosystems, creating a layered organization that amplifies life's ability to stave off entropy. Fragility and strength. Paradoxically, the higher the complexity, the more points of failure. A highly integrated system can be more easily unbalanced by even minor disruptions. This duality means that while life can sustain itself impressively, it is also extremely sensitive to certain types of interference, particularly chaotic random noise. Recognizing that life's capacity to resist entropy is finite underscores the need to minimize artificial stressors. Instead of waiting for conclusive evidence that Wi-Fi or cellular networks cause irreparable harm, adopting safer alternatives becomes an ethical imperative to protect this entropic anomaly we call life. The wise next step is to pivot from technologies that generate significant entropic waste, like current Wi-Fi, toward those that minimize harmful exposure. This paves the way for Li-Fi and other light-based systems, but before diving into these solutions, we must take a close look at how modern society is poised for a communications overhaul. Increasingly, urban centers around the globe embrace the smart city model: extensive real-time data, ubiquitous connectivity, and advanced automation. Yet, as these cities become more intricately wired, they also concentrate the very microwave and RF signals that can pollute our biological coherence. In centuries past, lead pipes were considered a marvel of plumbing until society recognized the toxic effects. By analogy, Wi-Fi, once hailed as a breakthrough, could prove similarly hazardous. Microwave exposure in dense, high-traffic environments may create cumulative health risks we're only beginning to grasp. The emergence of Li-Fi. So, what exactly is Li-Fi? Well, Li-Fi stands for light fidelity, and it uses LED light waves, whether visible, infrared, or ultraviolet, to transmit data. One of the key benefits of Li-Fi is speed. It can reach speeds of up to 100 gigabits per second, which honestly far surpasses typical Wi-Fi speeds. Another important aspect is safety. Because light waves cannot penetrate skin deeply, Li-Fi sidesteps many non-thermal health concerns that are tied to microwaves. And, let's not forget about security. Light does not pass through walls as easily, making eavesdropping and data theft much more challenging. Scaling Li-Fi in smart cities. Infrastructure-wise, as cities upgrade to LED lighting for energy savings, integrating Li-Fi modules becomes a really logical next step. Plus, there's the benefit of reduced RF pollution. Every Li-Fi hotspot replaces the need for a microwave-based router, which helps in shrinking the electromagnetic footprint. Sustainability and efficiency. Because Li-Fi piggybacks on existing lighting infrastructure, it can be more energy efficient. In an era where we're all striving for carbon neutrality, Li-Fi's synergy with LED lights can substantially cut overall power usage compared to the large, power-hungry Wi-Fi transmitters scattered across a city. Embracing Li-Fi is not just about faster speeds, it's also about mitigating entropic waste in high-density areas and protecting the delicate interplay of bioelectric signals that keep us alive. Cities that lead the way in adopting Li-Fi can position themselves as both technologically advanced and health-forward. Lighting the way: how Li-Fi and photonic air cleaning transform smart cities. Connectivity is not the only challenge modern cities face. Pollution, particularly indoor air pollution, contributes to respiratory illnesses, hospital visits, and even premature deaths. An innovative extension of Li-Fi technology is the harnessing of specific wavelengths of light to purify the air. This revolutionary approach merges data transmission and air cleaning into one system. Photonic air cleaning. Certain wavelengths of light can trigger photocatalytic reactions, breaking down pollutants like volatile organic compounds, bacteria, and viruses. A patent like US 11700058B2 envisions using photons not just for data but also for cleansing indoor air, a two-in-one approach that capitalizes on LED or UV-based lighting systems. How it works. Dual function. An LED-based Li-Fi fixture sends high-speed data and emits specific light frequencies. Catalyst activation. A catalyst, often titanium dioxide or similar compounds, is activated by particular wavelengths, which then neutralize airborne pollutants. Urban synergy, streetlights, hospital lighting, and office LEDs all become multitasking tools. They illuminate, connect, and disinfect. Implications for public health. In spaces like hospitals and schools, the synergy of data transmission and air purification can reduce infection rates, akin to continuous background sterilization. For cities wrestling with smog or VOCs, a network of photonic air cleaning Li-Fi stations can lower pollution levels, creating healthier public spaces. Energy efficiency gains. By merging data infrastructure with lighting and air cleaning, we reduce the need for separate systems, each with its own power draw. Smart cities can program these fixtures to ramp up photocatalytic intensity during peak pollution hours or high foot traffic, optimizing resource usage. The result? A citywide ecosystem in which each lamppost or indoor LED panel is a node of safer connectivity and cleaner air, a vast improvement over the electromagnetic smog we endure today. Light at the threshold: far UVC's grand promise. Among the most exciting frontiers in light-based communication is the use of far UVC, wavelengths typically between 200 and 230 nanometers. Spearheaded by visionaries like John Coates of RF Safe, far UVC solutions promise a trifecta: ultra-fast data, zero penetration into living tissues, and a built-in germicidal effect. Far UVC basics. Shallow penetration. Far UVC does not penetrate beyond the outer layers of skin or the tear layer of the eyes, avoiding deep tissue exposure. Germicidal power. These wavelengths break down the genetic material of viruses and bacteria, preventing replication without posing a health risk to humans. Patent US 11700058B2. Coates's patent describes a system where far UVC light doubles as a data carrier and an air cleanser. Modulated far UVC beams can transfer information, similar to Li-Fi, while continuously inactivating airborne pathogens. The potential applications are vast: hospitals, airports, office buildings, schools, and even homes. Zero SAR connectivity. Specific absorption rate, or SAR, is the measure of how much energy from an electromagnetic field is absorbed by human tissue. The lower the SAR, the safer the technology is considered. Far UVC's shallow penetration effectively yields a near-zero SR, sidestepping the controversies that plague microwave-based systems. Security and containment. Because far UVC cannot pass through typical glass or solid walls, signals remain confined to designated areas. Such isolation reduces risks of hacking or unauthorized access from outside, offering an intrinsic form of physical layer security. By marrying high-speed connectivity with pathogen-killing properties, far UVC stands at the edge of a new era, a solution that not only diminishes entropic waste by removing microwave radiation from living environments but also cleanses the air of microbes. If realized at scale, it could revolutionize how we approach networking in a post-pandemic world. The unseen storm, entropic waste, and human health. Before we succumb to techno-utopian excitement, let us acknowledge the real and present dangers we face: an unseen storm of electromagnetic fields, EMFs. Our streets, homes, offices, and schools are awash in radio frequency transmissions, layering on top of existing environmental stresses like chemical pollution and noise. This is the entropic waste that threatens the delicate bioelectric tapestry of life. Non-thermal effects revisited. Government guidelines often revolve around thermal thresholds, assuming if the tissue doesn't heat, it's harmless. Yet countless studies point to subtler non-thermal disruptions, changes in gene expression, hormonal imbalances, and oxidative stress. Over time, these small disruptions can accumulate, especially for those constantly exposed to Wi-Fi routers, cell towers, and myriad other sources. An alarm from history. Lead pipes once seemed harmless. Asbestos was lauded for fireproofing. DDT was once hailed as a miracle pesticide. All turned out to be ticking time bombs for public health. If the parallel holds, Wi-Fi and other microwave-based networks might follow that same cautionary tale. By the time mainstream science fully confirms the dangers, the damage may be widespread. Public policy gridlock. In the United States, laws like Section 704 of the Telecommunications Act of 1996 limit the ability of local communities to question tower placements based on health concerns. Regulatory agencies are slow to update exposure guidelines despite mounting evidence and legal challenges demanding reevaluation. A call for the precautionary principle. If we wait for absolute scientific consensus, history suggests we'll be reacting too late. In the face of uncertain risk, adopting less hazardous alternatives like Li-Fi and far UVC is a rational and ethical stance. The world is at a crossroads. Continue doubling down on older technologies that saturate us with entropic waste, or pivot to safer spectrums of light-based communications that are already proving more efficient and more secure. Charting the path from 5G to 6G and beyond. While 5G may still be rolling out, forward-thinking researchers already envision 6G networks that rely heavily on light frequencies, whether infrared, visible, or ultraviolet. This is not mere speculation. The exponential increase in data demands and sensor deployments will likely outstrip the capacity of the radio spectrum, forcing a shift toward higher, more photon-centric frequencies. (6G and Li-Fi convergence). 6G might employ sub-terahertz frequencies or pure optical communication. This includes Li-Fi as a mainstream standard rather than a niche technology. The synergy of Li-Fi with far UVC can lay the groundwork for smart lights that not only transmit data but also sterilize air, epitomizing the future of healthy high-bandwidth connectivity. Policy and infrastructure. To make this shift, governments and industries must collaborate on new standards, retooling building codes to support Li-Fi-friendly infrastructure. Public spaces, Schools, hospitals, airports are ideal pilot zones, showcasing the dual benefits of high-speed data and minimized EMF pollution. The scalability of photonic solutions. Cities are already transitioning to LED lighting for energy efficiency. Li-Fi and far UVC modules can be integrated into existing LED fixtures without monumental redesign. Over time, entire urban landscapes could become light grids, offering data, safety, and cleanliness. This path is not only feasible, but also inevitable. As we strain the radio spectrum and worry about health ramifications, the logic of pivoting to light becomes inescapable. A new covenant with life's fragility. Ultimately, the question is not merely technical, it is ethical, even philosophical. Life, in all its improbable splendor, is an entropic anomaly that we have the power to safeguard or degrade. Our reliance on Wi-Fi, fifth generation, and other microwave systems might be convenient, but convenience alone cannot justify ignoring potential harm. If safer, more efficient solutions exist, do we not have a responsibility to pursue them? Reverence for life's order. Recognizing that every cell's coherence is precious should inspire a protective instinct. Minimizing EMF pollution is akin to giving each cell and organism a quieter environment in which to thrive. Engineering as stewardship. Technology is not an end in itself but a tool for human flourishing. If it undermines health, it fails its fundamental purpose. Embracing Li-Fi and far UVC technologies is an act of stewardship, ensuring our infrastructure aligns with life's needs, not against them. Public engagement. Shifts on this scale demand grassroots awareness. Citizens must be informed about the pros and cons of current wireless systems and the existence of safer alternatives. Journalists, educators, and policymakers can lead dialogues that pivot from a narrow focus on faster data to a broader emphasis on healthier data. The way forward. Life's battle against entropy is an awe-inspiring saga. Across billions of years through countless evolutionary leaps, living beings have become ever more complex and ever more vulnerable to disruptions from the environment. The rapid ascent of wireless technology, powered by microwaves and radio frequencies, has yielded tremendous societal benefits, but also raised pressing concerns about health, sustainability, and the quiet invasion of entropic waste. We stand at a threshold where safer, cleaner technologies exist. Li-Fi harnesses photons in visible or near-visible ranges to transmit data at breakneck speeds with minimal penetration into human tissue. Far UVC, as championed by patents like US 117000058B2, can add air purification to the mix, simultaneously disinfecting spaces and delivering zero-SAR connectivity. The future of our cities, and indeed our species, may hinge on choices we make right now. If we remain complacent about the unseen, intangible clouds of microwave pollution saturating our lives, we risk turning Earth's vibrant tapestry of life into a frayed, disordered echo of itself. But if we act decisively championing light-based communications, we can preserve life's improbable order while continuing to innovate. In this balancing act between entropy and life, it falls to us to tip the scales. By replacing Wi-Fi with Li-Fi, by ushering in far UVC solutions that both connect and protect, by recognizing that the anomalies of life deserve safeguarding, we can chart a new course. One that embraces modern connectivity without sacrificing the fragile coherence that makes us alive. And perhaps in that effort, we will find our greatest testament to human progress. Visit RF Safe to learn more.